Even the greats have to take a year or two off. And that's what happened here with Steve Keeter. But that also means that we get to look at FANzine content from 1979. Hey everyone, welcome. It's Tom, it's FANzine Live. We are doing classic zines today, and we are going to take a look at Mantra number 4. And this is a unique book. It is published by small press comics legend, I guess you would say, Steve Keeter. He's been doing it forever. And the thing I love about this book is that it gives me a window into zines and zine culture that I don't necessarily get to see as much. I am a child of the 80s, mid 80s, as it relates to zines and small press comics. I know that there was a lot going on in the 60s and 70s. I mean, the stories of Roy Thomas and Paul Levitz doing their different zines. A lot of artists came out that we are familiar with today that came out of the FANzine world of the 70s, 60s, and 70s. They made their way into major comics. It was a really small culture back then by comparison to what we have today. And as a result, the names that you see in the zines often made it into the comics that you see today. In addition, just the style of the comics, the influences that were in the comics are very different back in the 70s than they are today. So this is a bit of a time capsule, I guess I'm trying to say, and I'm really excited to be able to show it to you folks. If you skip straight to the opening information, it says here, we're back after 2 years. Mantra and the Skeet finally returned to fandom. Skeet being Steve Keeter. And it talks about all sorts of stuff going on. So basically, Keeter says here, this issue was completed on March 18th of 1979, but he didn't get to publish it for 2 years because he had life issues going on, and I don't want to get into that. But that means that we're really looking at stuff that was done in the late 70s here. Starts with the cover by Hanley. I want to say it was Al Hanley. I'm looking real quick. Yes, Al Hanley. He did the cover, and the date on it, as you can see, is 1977. And so we already start with kind of what fan culture was about back in the late 70s. And it's nice. The artwork is really good. Obviously not, I don't see anything as it relates to tones. Obviously no digital work done at all. This is all done by pen or by brush. Probably some brush. I'm looking at the squiggly lines there on that belt, and some of the stuff here on the metallic of the robot. But I mean, that's some really nice line work. Steve did this zine, and of course it's yellowed because it's a little older. 8.5 by 11 folded over digest, saddle stitched, real simple stuff, but he did do it offset. And that allows for a really crisp reproduction of the comic. So again, this is a wonderful, wonderful time capsule because you're not even trying to wade your way through crappy photocopiers. You've got a professionally printed piece. So that's the cover. That was by Al Hanley. And then what did it say here? Lee Jackson did the back. And I almost like this one more. This is the Doom Patrol from DC Comics. You got the Chief and you got Robot Man and you got the gang. But look at how they did the line work on this. Really sharp stuff. And it's a great scene. I mean, you've got the robot guy blowing up the city and you've got Doom Patrol running for their lives, and really pretty cool. I like that a lot. And some really nice draftsmanship. You've got the buildings being done with a really nice perspective. You got a good vanishing point. Looks like multiple vanishing points, which makes sense for a city environment. Not everything is going to be straight on to the single spot. I really like it. Okay, so he does his piece here, and these are, I believe, Steve Keeter cartoons. And then he starts, it's a very short zine. He's got a 2-page piece, a text piece, and it's a cute one. I'm not going to read it all to you, but the fun of it is the twist at the ending. And so it's all about this thing, about this person named Preeton. And Preeton is trying to get food, and he's trying to evade the aliens, and he's dashing from rock to rock, and he's doing everything he can to stay alive with the aliens. A.B. Klingman, as you can see, wrote it. And then he finally gets it, but then gets smashed by something. And it says, it came from out of nowhere, the large round object. It bore down on Preeton with unbelievable speed and crushed him to the ground as he ran from the shadow of the tree with the last load of food. It all happened so fast, but that was the way it had always happened, as the old one had warned. You never knew what weapon the aliens would use next. Then the last paragraph, this is great. These were the last thoughts of Preeton the ant as he lay broken and dying on the warning track of the baseball field beside the cake crumbs left over from a picnic. So all of this running away from the aliens thing really is the story of an ant simply trying to get some food at a baseball park. I think that's really creative. Good stuff. Cute little cartoon here by a gentleman named Ken Hahn. And then the gem of this piece, done in 1975 and 1976 by a gentleman named Gene Day. Now, I am looking at the quality of this artwork, and there was a Gene Day who plied his trade in major comics for the big two back in the 70s and I think early 80s. And it would not surprise me in the least if he was the one who did this. And it is just neat. Again, as we're talking about different influences, it says here, the house stinks with the odor of putrefaction, although it is not but wooden glass. It pulses with the vibrations of evil. Father O'Hara almost hears the monster within whispering as it waits. Very much classic comic horror, going kind of down the line of EC and some of those 1960s, 70s horror things like House of Secrets and House of Whispers and that type of stuff. Beautiful use of blacks, the shading, interesting perspective. But then you go to your close-ups and you've got a monster here. And it's not just, look at that monster. That thing's incredible. Not only do you have teeth, but you have jagged teeth, and they're uneven, and you've got sweat, and you've got the lines and the wrinkles, and it's, just incredible. And then you can see he's doing an exorcism. And so he says he knows that is nothing more than an illusion, but it's some really great imagery of Christ on the crucifix. And then he decides to conduct the exorcism. And it looks like the monster is a thing most vile. And is it just me, or does that look like a teddy bear? An evil possessed teddy bear. But really the important thing to me is this is amazing stuff. I mean, I haven't seen line work like that since Steve Bissett and John Tuttlebin with Swamp Thing. Maybe some Rick Veitch. I mean, this is some great stuff, and it's really neat to see. So you get a sense of kind of what the work of the day was, and it was pretty nifty. Just gorgeous work. Then he throws in some ancient letters from ancient times, and these are old letters to the editor. And we've got one from Jim Main, the publisher of Fazit. Don't know Russ Garwood, don't know Damian Kilby, but then you've got the late Larry Blake. And Larry Blake talks about Steve Shipley. I mean, these are names, if you kind of follow that 1980s, 90s, even going into today, zine scene. These are your Hall of Fame names. And then I love this at the end. Larry writes, now a couple of favors. If Matt Feazell is out there, please contact me. And then he also says, someone tell me more about the United FANzine organization, the UFO. I'd like to join. Well, Larry ended up being a valued member of the UFO, and Steve was out of the UFO at the time, but he was talking in here about how he wants to get back in. This is a Larry Blake piece from 1977. This is one from 1976. Larry was using tones. Check that out. Really cool. And then looks like we have an ad for the Nostalgia Newsstand in Greenville, North Carolina. Check this out. Back in it says 1978 there, comic books, pulps, undergrounds, new mags, paperbacks, records, fanzines, posters, science fiction, fantasy. I bet this place was a blast. And then you've got the closing of the book. So mantra number 4, neat collection, wonderful snapshot of time, a classic zine in the true classic sense. I'm so glad to be able to share this with you. So thanks again for watching, everybody. I hope you have a great day. I hope to see you next time, and I will catch you next time.